Welcome everyone to the week 8 tutorial session for the course of Secure Competition 2. So, as usual, today we will first quickly recap week 7 topics and then we will proceed to discuss the tutorial questions posted on NPTEL website and then we will overview the week 8 topic. So, in the week 7, the broad topics are the following. Challenges of Byzantine corruption in GWMPC, perfectly secure VSS, that is verifiable secret sharing, as a solution to that. There is a challenge that how to ensure that the computation is performed correctly even in presence of at most 3 Byzantine corrupted parties in GWMPC protocol. How to deal with that? So, as a solution, we propose perfectly secure verifiable secret sharing, and then to achieve perfectly secure verifiable secret sharing as a tool, we get an introduction to bytecode convenience. So, to start with, if you remember that in simple addition, let's say in BJWMPC, if we want to perform some linear operation, so let's, for simplicity, let's take perform addition. Distributed. So that is the whole purpose of doing MPC, that the computation will be performed by multiple party and they won't reveal the parties input to each other. So let's say if we have P1, P2, P3, P4 and P5, 5 parties are there. So let's say in 5. And let's say out of them at most T equal to 3 can be maliciously corrupted. Okay, so for the beginning, let's assume passive corruption and then we to Byzantine corruption. So if 3 out of 5 parties are corrupt, passively corrupt, then what happens? So let's say our target is to compute, say we have input x1, input x2. So each party Pi has an input xi, and they don't want to make those individual input public, but still they should be able to compute the summation of all the xi's, right? The final output, this is the function, right? So this is the function that all want to evaluate essentially at the end. And in BGW, the convention is that all the individual input of the parties will be secret shared and each party will get some share of it. So, for example, P1 owns the input x1, but apart from P1, no other party should know x1. Now we ensure this by talking about x1 only. We can extend it to each of xi's. So for example, we talk about x1. So we apply a semi-secret sharing, and we generate shares, say x11, x12, x13, x14 and x15 in such a manner that now P1 keeps x11 to itself. So P1 already knows the whole of x1, that is okay, but for the computation purpose, P1 will use only this share, that is x11. P2 will get access to x12, second share of the input x1. P3 gets access to the third share of input x1, that is x13. P4 gets access to x14 and P5 gets access to x15. So each of the party will get some share of x1, but no party will be able to learn the whole of x1, right? The value of x1 itself will not be known to any of the parties. But even if some T party among them gets corrupted, so let's say P2, P4 and P5 are corrupt party. So the Soviet secret sharing ensures that even in presence of T corruption, our so basically when we say that P1, P4 and P5 are corrupted, that essentially means that there is an adversary who has control over all these three parties, P2, P4, P5. So that adversary will essentially know the values of x12, x14 and x15 because P2, P4 and P5 are under his or her control. So Shamir secret sharing should ensure that even with the knowledge of x12, x13 and x15, 12, 14 and 15, they together also should not give any information about x1. So all these information should be independent of the value of x1, right? That is ensured by Shamir secret sharing. Now x1 can be reconstructed back only if some t plus 1 parties come together. So when P1, P2, P3 and P4, let's say 4 parties, these 4 parties join hands and then they will be able to reconstruct x1 by using x11, x12, x13 and x14. Okay, and here since we are talking about passive corruption, so P2 will not change its share x12 to some x12 dash. We assume that in semi-honest setting or passive corruption setting, the all the collaborating parties, they obey the protocol, right? So they obey all the specifications of the protocol. They do not deviate from the protocol, but they effectively try to gain as much information as they can from all the input and output message that they can see. So from its transcript, basically, it will try to learn as much information as possible, but they will not deviate from the protocol. So if P2 has got the share x12 from the dealer, then it will send x12 only while reconstructing. So using x11, x12, x13 and x14, P1, P2, P3 and P4 together will be able to reconstruct back the value of x1. Or any other 4 parties also, even if P2, P3, P4 and P5 join hands, then also they will be able to construct x1. Or P1, P3, P4, P5, any 4 parties together out of these 5 parties will be able to reconstruct back the value of x1. Now I was talking with respect to x1, but similar things will be applicable for any xi, say be it x1, be it x2, x3, x4 or x5, anything. Now usually in BGWMPC what happens is that I'm talking about addition. So P1 keeps x11 to itself, gives x12 to P2, x13 to P3, x14 to P4 and x15 to P5. Now similarly x2 also gets secret shared using the semi secret sharing scheme, and as a result P1 gets x21, the first share of x2, let's say. P2 keeps to itself x22, second share of x2. P2 gives P3 the third share of x2, Similarly, P4 gets H24, P5 gets H25. And each of these shares will be secret shared in this manner. So if I quickly write all the shares distributed to each party, situation is like this. X X X X X 4 X. Now let's say how to now get the result of the addition, right? So uh, let's say each of the parties has performed the summation on individual shares, right? So here actually we get summation of all xi 1 I equal to 1 to 5. Here we get the sum of xi2 I equal to 1 to 5 and so on. Here it is. Now if since it is semi-secret sharing, so let's say 4 parties P1, P2, P4 and P5 want to come together and reconstruct back. So what we expect essentially is this: we expect that uh, just the way x11, x12 till x15 are semi-secret share of x1, right? We expect that this together should imply that the individual computation result for all party till psi 5 I equal to 1 to 5, this is nothing but semi-secret share of the value x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 plus x5, right? And due to the linearity property of semi-secret sharing scheme, this will be satisfied. So this is the this is in context of passive setting, right? Now when we talk about Byzantine setting corruption, then the parties can behave maliciously and they can arbitrarily deviate from the protocol. And in that case, what is the challenge? So there is some dealer D who basically takes a value S. This value can be input of any party. So we were talking about x1, x2, these secret inputs of parties. Now we are just generalizing the things, and let's say S is some input for any party and some dealer distributes it using semi-secret sharing to multiple parties, some n number of parties. Now in Byzantine corruption setting, our challenge is twofold, right? In Byzantine corruption setting, we face twofold challenges. What are they? So first thing is, if dealer itself is corrupt, right? That can be the case, maliciously corrupt. So in that case, what dealer will do? Dealer will provide the parties with arbitrary shares. So they can be just meaningless shares. What I mean to say is, usually you have a certain share algorithm for semi-secret sharing scheme, right? So if you remember, if I have to perform a T out of n semi-secret sharing, where at least T plus one party should participate to reconstruct the secret, then what do? We pick a random t-degree polynomial fx with constant, so constant 0. So fx is some s plus a1x till x to its a 2-degree polynomial, right? And then for sharing, what it does is that if there is party p1 to pn, so it can give to p1 the share s1, which is nothing but the polynomial f evaluated at some point alpha 1. This point is publicly known, but s1 is provided only to p1. Similarly, pn gets Sn, which is nothing but the polynomial f evaluated at some point, publicly known distinct point alpha n. So all these alpha 1 till alpha n are distinct and public. Okay, and this S1 is the share of P1, Sn is the share of P1. That's it. Now, if the dealer is corrupt, instead of providing the evaluation of polynomial f at point alpha 1, it can just generate arbitrary value, some s1 dash, and give it to p1. In that case, even if all the parties are honest, so in this case, if dealer is corrupt, even if all the n parties p1 to pn are honest, the reconstructed value will have no relation with actual securities, because corrupt dealer can send any s1 dash to sn dash to n parties, and s1 to sn dash have no dependency on s. So that is one scenario. This is one challenge. And another challenge is, if dealer is honest and T parties, so without loss of generality, let's say P1 to PT, these T parties are Byzantine, right? So T parties are corrupt. Then what is the challenge? So if you notice that here the disturbance occur at the sharing phase, right? Sharing is this is so sharing phase is what do you say? Sharing phase is first affected, and as a result, reconstruction is of course affected. But the problem starts at the sharing phase only with the corrupt honest dealer setting the sharing phase is okay. The dealer will honestly distribute all the shares to all the parties. But problem starts in the reconstruction phase. Because the reconstruction phase, in reconstruction, when any T plus 1 parties need to collaborate with their individual shares, they might end up revealing wrong values, thus affecting the reconstruction. So reconstruction is correctly done only if all the parties here, let's say in case of 3 out of 5 setting, only if the 4 parties who are participating in reconstruction, uh, they are participating with their actual shares, then only reconstruction will be correct. But if they are participating with arbitrary value of shares, then of course reconstruction will not be successful. They can produce some output, but that will not be equal to the original secret phase. Right? So here the problem starts in the reconstruction phase, right? In the second part. So here reconstruction is these twofold challenges we need to handle, and to handle this actually comes the need of a new primitive called verifiable secret sharing. So till now the secret sharing protocol we saw, that is standard semi secret sharing, where only the passive adversaries are handled. But now we talk about ESS, new cryptocurrency, which is verifiable secret sharing. So it will basically have it will handle all the challenges, both the challenges that we mentioned just previously. First is honest dealer. So it is expected from a valid verifiable secret sharing scheme that if dealer is honest, then privacy should be ensured. Privacy should be ensured. What do we mean by privacy? That is an adversary corrupting or having control of T maliciously. So an adversary who corrupts T parties, basically maliciously corrupts an adversary maliciously corrupting T parties should gain no information about the secret. cases also should ensure that in corapular case, even if you don't, even if the reconstructed value is not same as original secret, it should be some meaningful value such that the shares of honest parties are consistent with respect to the newly recovered polynomial. That is, or its secret sum. So these two situations should be handled by honest tailor. And the second case, when we say that in case of corrupt tailor, the recovered secret, even if it is not same as the original secret, it should be consistent with the values that was the secret share of honest parties. Okay. And this property is actually called the strong commitment property or VSS. Strong commitment. Now, to get an instantiation of verifiable secret sharing scheme, we started studying bivariate polynomial. Okay. Now, what is bivariate polynomial? Simply, it has the formula. So, let's say some p comma q bivariate polynomial. As the name suggests, there are two variables involved in the polynomial. The polynomials that we have seen previously, those are univariate polynomial like fx. So the indeterminate is x, right? So only variable is x, but in case of bivariate polynomial, we will write fx comma y. So in case of pq bivariate polynomial, the we write the polynomial as fx comma y, and the power of j x to the power I and 1 to the power j. If we expand the terms, it will be like a00 x to the power 0 y to the power 0, a01 x to the power 0 y to the power 1 till a0 q x to the power 0 y to the power 3 plus a10 x to the power 1 y to the power 0, a11 x to the power 1 y to the power 1 till a1q x to the power 1 q to the power 1, so y to the power 3. Till a p0 x to the power p y to the power 1 to the power So those are the terms. So if you see that here x power is fixed at 0 and all the y power has started from 0 and moved till q and so on, and the power of x is gradually increasing to x to the power b as specified in this formula. Usually for supporting verifiable Summit secret sharing scheme, we will deal with TT bivariate polynomial. Right? So in case of n out of t out of n Summit secret sharing, our univariate polynomial is of degree t. Now for t out of n verifiable secret sharing scheme, our polynomial will be a bivariate polynomial and they will have degree t both for variable x and variable y. So if we write that if xy in case of bivariate polynomial, it is starting from ij equal to 0 till ij equal to t aij is to the power I equals that's it. Okay. Now we have already seen several theorems and lemmas about bivariate polynomials. Now we will just take a look at NPTEL website questions and then again come back to discussing these bivariate polynomial properties and how we achieve perfectly secure verifiable secret sharing scheme under the condition, which is a necessary condition, that n should be greater than 3t. So this was the first question for 7 assignment. Choose the correct statements among the following regarding the threshold required for passive and malicious adversaries in order to withstand T corruptions among n parties, where the adversary is computationally unbounded. To recollect, the following are the sharing and reconstruction protocols for a passive adversary. So share protocol is that dealer D is a random TDP polynomial f such that f0 is equal to s, right? So that is the constant term is equal to the secret s. D then gives each party pi f of alpha I, where alpha 1 to alpha n are distinct equation. So we know these things, right? And then in reconstruction phase, each party broadcasts f of alpha I and the function f is interpolated from the broadcasted points and s is equal to 0, which is the output of reconstruction scheme. Okay. Now the option says that for a passive adversary, the sharing protocol requires 2t less than n. This is wrong because in standard Summit secret sharing scheme, the requirement is just that t should be less than n. So a maximum of n-1 corruptions also can be handled by Summit secret sharing scheme, where we deal with passive corruption setting. Now the second option also is wrong because it says that for a passive adversary, the reconstruction protocol requires 2t less than n. Okay, so basically no restriction is there on the value of t apart from the condition t must be less than n. Of course, otherwise it does not make sense that all the n parties out of n parties are corrupted. That does not make sense, right? So maximum of n-1 party in a system of n parties can be corrupted, and that situation can be handled in passive corruption setting when the adversary has corrupted even at most n-1 parties. Okay? So only required condition is t less than n. 2t less than n is not required, be it sharing phase or reconstruction phase. However, for an active adversary, that is a malicious adversary who can deviate from the protocol arbitrarily, we were just discussing that we need to take some additional measure to support verifiable secret sharing scheme. And for verifiable secret sharing scheme, which is perfectly secure, we have discussed that n should be strictly greater than 3t. This is a necessary condition for any perfectly secure verifiable secret sharing scheme. So last two options are the correct. Here comes the second question. So it says that suppose each party Pi in a set of n parties has an output Pi. Suppose that the parties want to compute V1 plus V2 plus V3 till Vn. Which of the following is the correct order in which appropriate subprotocols must be invoked to compute this? So from the options, we can see that the subprotocols they are talking about are the protocols addition, reconstruction and verifiable secret sharing. So these three are the subprotocol, and how do we combine, or in what sequence we should combine these three subprotocols to achieve a protocol that allows the party P1 to Pn to compute the summation of P1 to Pn. Now, previously only we just were discussing, right, that how uh, Shamir secret sharing is used in BGW MPC protocol, where each party shares its individual input to multiple parties, and each party then perform the computation on the particular shares of the inputs, and those result of computations on individual shares of inputs can be combined using Shamir secret sharing's reconstruction protocol, and the final output of the computation is then revealed. Right? So clearly that indicates that first all the individual input. So if Pi is the input of Pi, first each Pi will be secret shared among all the n parties. So VSS is the first step, and then each party will do some partial computation taking into account only the individual share for all. So let's say, so the example we talked about was it. So let's say we have three parties. It has x11, x12, x13. It has x21, x22, x33, and x31, 32, 32. So all these shares are produced using VSS. Once this is done, then each party will perform their partial computation on these particular secret shares available to you. So P1 has x11, x21 and x31 to it. So it will perform the summation on those shares. Similarly, P2 also contribute partially to the whole summation. Just excuse me. Hello. Sorry for the interruption actually. Okay, so we were talking about that first we need to perform the VSS, and then actually we have to uh, perform the partial computation, that is computation is addition here. So each party will partially compute its corresponding addition on their respective shares, and once that is done, then all of them can be combined together according to reconstruction of Shamir secret sharing scheme. Right? So this means that first we need VSS, then we do addition, and then we do reconstruction. So this is the correct option. Okay. Then the next question was this: consider a system of n parties among which T can be maliciously corrupt. Suppose a party S wants to broadcast a message S and we want perfect security. Assume there exists a perfectly secure VSS scheme for N parties tolerating decorruptions. Then consider the following broadcast protocol. S acts as a dealer of VSS, picks random t-degree polynomial f where f0 is equal to s and runs the sharing phase protocol of VSS. Let Si be the share of party Pi. After this, each party sends its share to every other party. Every party Pi then runs the reconstruction protocol to obtain a polynomial f dash and outputs f dash 0. So they are talking about achieving the broadcast using verifiable secret sharing protocol, or reliable broadcast using verifiable secret sharing as a fundamental block to it. So, if we see that by the correctness of VSS scheme, verifiable secret sharing scheme, so correctness of verifiable secret sharing will ensure that actually if the let's if we remember what is the validity of broadcast protocol. Okay, so validity property, if you remember, it says that if sender is honest, then all the honest party receive the same value as sent by the sender. That is the validity of a reliable broadcast protocol. Now let's check if this property holds if we proceed uh, as described in the question. So to achieve broadcast protocol, what they are doing, so the sender acts as a dealer here. So in a broadcast protocol, there is a designated sender and there are also multiple parties, right? So this sender, let's say that the sender is P1 itself. Any one party among the n parties will be the designated sender. So let's say P1 is the sender. Now it uh, functions as a dealer of verifiable secret sharing scheme. So whatever value, let's say value V is the value that S wants to broadcast, and if S is honest, then it will correctly distribute the secret sharing or following the sharing scheme of sharing phase of verifiable secret sharing protocol. It will send shares to all the parties, including itself. Right? So everyone will get some share S1, S2, S3 till Sn, and if sender is honest or dealer is honest, then they will be consistent with some bivariate polynomial, right? Okay, now for reconstruction, so what we need at the end of broadcast protocol, all the honest party gets the value of S, right? So this is small s, don't confuse with the capital S, which is denoting the sender. Small si's are denoting the shares of the value that sender wanted to send. Now we want that at the end of broadcast protocol, all the honest party will know the value of small s, that is the secret with respect to secret sharing scheme, or the value to be broadcasted with respect to the broadcast protocol. Okay. So to achieve that, what they do, all of them actually uh, shares its own value that they received to every other party. So each PI will send SI to every other party till PN, right? So all the end party, including itself, all they get the value of SI. So at the end of this particular phase, it's sharing cone shared to everyone. At the end of this phase, each party PI will receive some so PI receives, let's say, S1I. So this subscript I denotes that this is the value received by PI. So S1I denotes the value S1 received by PI. So this is an in-size vector that each party PI receives. Now the value of S1 as received by P1 may not be same as value of S1 received by P2, because P1 who is sending S1 that can send different copies to different values, right? That may happen. That's why we are denoting that each party has a n-size vector to it, and among them at most T can be corrupted value or different value than the original, right? So if they apply a, so they are not talking about any particular reconstruction protocol, but we know that with the help of reconstruction of the verifiable secret sharing protocol, right? Uh, by the help of that, uh, they will be able to correctly get back a polynomial f dash. So since we are mostly dealing with polynomial based verifiable secret sharing scheme, so some polynomial will be obtained, right, after the application of reconstruction phase of PSS protocol, and this will be evaluated at value 0 to recover the exact secret small s. So by the correctness property of PSS protocol, the validity will of the validity of the broadcast protocol will be satisfied. And what is the consistency property of a broadcast protocol? So consistency property of a broadcast protocol is nothing but if sender is corrupt, that actually reflects the scenario that dealer is corrupt in PSS protocol, right? And in broadcast protocol we say that if the sender is corrupt, then also at the end of broadcast protocol, all honest parties uh, will receive a consistent value. So they may not receive the value S that was sent by the sender. In fact, if sender is corrupt, it will not send the same or identical copies of same value to all the parties. It choose to send different values to different parties, but still at the end of the protocol, all the honest parties should be at the same page. All of them should have a same value he received at their end. Okay. Now similarly, in case of verifiable secret sharing protocol, we talked about strong commitment, where it says that even if the dealer is corrupt, then at the end of reconstruction, all the honest party will not get the same original secret S retrieved, but they will get some S star, so that the polynomials received by the honest parties from the dealer, they are consistent with the recovered value S star. Okay. So by the strong commitment of PSS protocol, the consistency of broadcast protocol will be satisfied. So we are essentially reducing the problem of reliable broadcast to the problem of verifiable secret sharing in this question. Now, first two options are clearly correct. Third option says that the above shows that perfectly secure BSS is possible only if 3t less than n. So this is true actually. Why? So if we assume that perfectly secure BSS is possible if even if n is equal to 3t, let's say for example. So even if 3t n is equal to 3t, then also perfectly secure VSS is satisfied or is possible. If we assume that, then using that VSS protocol, we are directly uh, getting a reliable broadcast protocol. So that means that we can achieve a reliable broadcast protocol with n equal to 3t. But we already know, right, that a reliable broadcast protocol in the Byzantine corruption setting is possible only if n is greater than 3t, right? So a perfectly secure, this is the necessary condition for a perfectly secure reliable broadcast, that n must be greater than 3t. So here by contradiction we can say that since reliable broadcast protocol cannot exist with n equal to 3t, so perfectly secure BSS will also not be possible using n equal to 3t. That implies that a perfectly secure BSS is possible only if 3t is lesser than n. So the third option is also correct. Fourth option is not correct because this is just the inverse direction of the statement that we are saying. So fourth option is not correct. First three options are correct. Next question. It says that suppose that t row and column polynomials on a random t plus q minus 1, t plus q minus 1 degree bivariate polynomial f x y over a field f are known where q greater equal to 1. What are the number of possible polynomials f x y such that f00 equal to s? So we are dealing with polynomial f x y. This is a bivariate polynomial where the degree of both x and y are t plus q minus 1. So we can write that ij start to vary from value 0 and they vary till t plus q minus 1. This is the polynomial. So it's given that t row and column polynomials are available. So what is row polynomial? If you remember, we to get a row polynomial, we fix the value of y in fx. Similarly, to get a column polynomial, we fix the value of x in fxy. That means, let's say we have a row polynomial of the form f1x, which denotes that this is evaluation of the bivariate polynomial on the value y equal to some alpha 1. Alpha 1 is some evaluation point, right? So alpha 1 is element of field element. Any alpha I is field element, and t such row polynomial are available. This is given in the question. And t column polynomials are also available, which is nothing but x value is fixed to alpha 1 for g1 till gty is available. So this is for alpha t comma y. Now what information do these row and column polynomial give us? So what we want to ensure is that uh, we want to ensure that how many polynomials are possible uh, where we already know the evaluation of polynomial at point 0, 0, and what else can we retrieve from the information provided through t row polynomial and t column polynomial. Basically, to solve or to get the interpolation of a bivariate polynomial that has degree t plus q minus 1 for both the variables, we need to know a total of t plus q into t plus q number of points. So evaluation at this many number of points need to be known to get uniquely determine the polynomial fxy, right? So degree is t plus q minus 1. So there are t plus q number of coefficients of each univariate polynomial, and combined there are a total of t plus q into t plus q number of unknowns or number of coefficients in the polynomial. And if we want to uniquely determine a bivariate polynomial that has degree t plus q minus 1 for both the variables, we need to know evaluation of that polynomial at these many distinct points. Okay, this is nothing but t plus q square. So we now want to see that how many evaluations at distinct evaluation points are already available to us. So one point is undoubtedly f00 is equal to this. This is one single evaluation that we know at point 0, 0. What else? So there are so if we know the value of f1x, right, what we can get from this? So we can actually evaluate this polynomial f1x at points say alpha 1, alpha 2 till alpha t plus q. On these many different points you can evaluate this function, and as a result evaluate in these points. Okay. And as a result you get a set of values, namely you get f of alpha 1 comma alpha 1, alpha 2 comma alpha 1 till f of alpha t plus q comma alpha 1. Okay. So each row polynomial will help us to see a total of t plus q evaluation points. These many evaluation points, the corresponding value at these many evaluation points are known. Similarly, by using the information of row polynomial ftx, we can get the values of f of alpha 1 comma alpha t, alpha 2 comma alpha t, and so on. Alpha t comma alpha t, just writing in between, till alpha t plus q alpha t. This set what about the column polynomials? So by evaluating g1y at the points alpha 1 to alpha t plus q, what we get? We get f of alpha 1 alpha 1, f of alpha 1 comma alpha 2 till f of alpha 1 comma alpha t plus q, so on till gty. Here we get alpha t comma alpha 1, alpha t comma alpha 2, alpha t comma alpha t2 t plus c. Now what are the evaluation points that we can see, or how many evaluation points that we can see? So from here, if from f1x we see t plus q evaluation points, f2x will also give t plus q distinct evaluation points, and till ftx we are able to achieve a total of this, gives a total of t into t plus q evaluation points. Only the row polynomials gives this much information. Okay. In column polynomial perspective, see, if alpha 1 is already we get from here, alpha 1 comma alpha 2 will be there by evaluation of f2x at point alpha 1. So this information is also redundant. So these points we have already seen from row polynomials. But after alpha 1 comma alpha t, all the values starting from f of alpha 1 comma alpha t plus 1 till alpha 1 comma alpha t plus q, these q values, so maybe I can rewrite that. So this is just sorry, just so if we rewrite this, this is alpha 1 comma alpha t, right? It goes till alpha 1 comma alpha t plus q. Now notice that till this point the information is redundant because it is already obtained from the first value of each set f1x till ftx. Okay. But after that, f of alpha 1 comma alpha t plus 1 is a new point. So starting from alpha 1 comma alpha t plus 1 to alpha 1 comma alpha t plus q, there are q number of points, and these q number of points are distinct evaluation points. So g1i, once we have obtained t into t plus q number of evaluation points from the row polynomials only, the column polynomial g1i contributes q new evaluation points or distinct evaluation points. Okay. Similarly, if we look at g2y, there also f of alpha 2 comma alpha t plus 1 to f of alpha 2 comma alpha t plus q, those q values will be new. So together g1y to gty, t number of column polynomial, together they will contribute t into q number of distinct evaluation points. Distinct So there are this from row and column polynomial we get this many evaluation of bivariate polynomial at these many distinct points, plus we also have the point 0 comma 0. There also we know the value of evaluation. So a total of this many evaluation values are available from the bivariate polynomial. So we can say that possible polynomial f x comma y is upper bounded by size of the field f to the power total of t plus q square, which is need to be known to get all the coefficients of the polynomial, minus these many evaluations are already there. So this is t into t plus q, that is t square plus tq plus tq plus 1, and this gives us q square minus 1. So this is the answer. Hope this is clear. Okay. Now come to the last question of week 7 assignment. Consider the field Z5 with the addition and multiplication operation on the field. Suppose that if xy is a 1 comma 1 degree bivariate polynomial where f1 comma y is 3 plus y and f2 comma y is 3 plus 3y, what is fx comma y? So this is a straightforward question of interpolating the polynomial fx comma y provided the column polynomials, right? Because x value is pinned to a fixed value, that means we get column polynomial. So you can write it as, or you can view the problem as, there are two evaluation point alpha 1 and alpha 2 available. Alpha 1 is 1, this value, and alpha 2 is 2, this value, and you are giving column polynomial g1y at point f of alpha 1 comma alpha 1 is 1 and this value is given as 3 plus 1. You are also provided with another column polynomial g2y, which is f of alpha 2 y, alpha 2 is 2, which is 3 plus 3y. These are the given information, and you know that from given t number of, so this is a 1 comma 1 degree bivariate polynomial, right? So t equal to 1. You know that if we have t plus 1 distinct evaluation points and their corresponding univariate column polynomial, we obtain bivariate polynomial fx comma y by using Lagrange integration. What is the formula for that? Fx comma y is written as delta 1x. So this is a linear combination of all these t plus 1 univariate polynomials. Delta 1x into g1y plus delta 2x into y. Delta 1x, so what is delta 1x? This is writing above. Um, so delta 1x is, the formula we write is this, right? That x minus for alpha 1, we write x minus alpha 2 till x minus alpha n. We have only two evaluation point. Sorry, we write x minus alpha 2 till x minus alpha t, right? But here we have only x minus, we have only alpha 1 and alpha 2, so corresponding polynomial is this, and delta 2x is x minus alpha 1 alpha 2 minus alpha 1. This is how Lagrange interpolation coefficients are computed. So we put the value, alpha 2 is 2, alpha 1 is 1. Now we are in Z5, so minus 2 is congruent to 3 modulo 5, so minus 2 is replaced by plus 3, and minus 2, minus 1, and minus 1 is congruent to 4 modulo 5, so as a result we get 4 inverse x plus 3. 4 inverse in Z5 is 4 only, because 4 into 4 is 16, which is congruent to 1 modulo 5. Right? So inverse of 4 is 4 only. So this is 4x plus 12, and 12 mod 5 is 2. So 4x plus 2. Delta 2x is x minus 1, 2 minus 1. Minus 1 is congruent to 4 modulo 5, so this is plus 4, 2 minus 1 is 1, so this is simply x plus 4. Now if we put the value here, delta 1x is 4x plus 2, and g1y is given 3 plus y, delta 2x is x plus 4, g2y is given as 3 plus 3y. Together we write, so this is 12x plus 6 plus 4xy plus 2y plus 3x plus 12 x plus 12 plus 3xy plus 12. So there is 12x and 3x, total 15x, and since we are in Z5, 15 is multiple of 5, so this actually is congruent to 0 modulo 5, so this will be in these terms. 6 is 6 plus 12, so 18. 18 is 3 modulo 5, so 3 is the constant term. 4xy plus 3xy, 7xy, that is 2xy in modulo 5, and 2y and 12y, 14y, that is 4y. So this is the interpolated value of the expected 1 degree bilateral polynomial. So 4y plus 2xy plus 3. This is the correct answer. So now we are done with the week 7 assignments, and we will just quickly overview the topics in week 8. So the topic week 8 is that we again discuss actually some more properties of bivariate polynomial, some add notes then actually we directly jump to perfectly secure verifiable secret sharing with n greater than. This is necessary here. So instead of going into detail of bivariate polynomial properties, we just uh, get a overview of perfectly secure verifiable secret sharing scheme. So in the beginning only we mentioned about the expected properties from verifiable secret sharing scheme. One is for the honest dealer situation where the parties in the reconstruction phase behave maliciously and try to reconstruct using wrong values of shares. So that needs to be prevented by using some verification mechanism to ensure that each party are providing the correct shares consistent with the polynomial received from the dealer. And the next property is that you even if the dealer is corrupted, then also by the strong commitment property of perfectly secure USS, all the honest party should actually receive a share that is consistent with the polynomials received from the dealer. So this is essentially a 5-round protocol. Number of rounds increase in order to ensure perfect security and the verifiable property as an add-on. So how does this work? In the we talk about sharing. Sharing has 5 rounds. Round 1. Here the dealer D. So dealer actually needs to choose a bivariate polynomial with constant with secret S as the constant. Now, so for that, how does it choose a bivariate polynomial? So instead of directly choosing a bivariate polynomial, what it does is that it first uh, picks a random univariate polynomial of degree t that has S as its constant. Okay. Now this is just similar to the standard semi-secret sharing scheme where to share the secret identity out of an corruption setting. You choose a t degree univariate polynomial with the constant term as the secret. That's okay. But now we finally want to get a bivariate polynomial. So apart from fx, it also needs to be t as f1x to ftx, and we view them f1x to ftx as nothing but row polynomials of this bivariate polynomial. Okay, so you can look at it as the bivariate to get a unique bivariate polynomial we need t plus 1 univariate polynomial evaluated at t distinct points. So this t distinct point is first one is 0 and then we get fx. So replace y with 0 and you get f of x first point. Replace y with alpha 1, then you get f1 of x. Replace y with alpha 2, you get f2 of x, till replace alpha y with alpha t and you get f3 of x. These are the t plus 1 distinct evaluation points, 0, alpha 1, alpha 2 till alpha t, and corresponding evaluation of fxy are represented as these random polynomials with the only restriction that f of 0 is equal to s, and this will certainly give us a unique bivariate polynomial. Okay, now each so dealer sends if I x, which is nothing but evaluation of the polynomial at y equal to alpha I, and also gi of y, that is f of x replaced with alpha I. This one row polynomial and one column polynomial is sent to party Pi. This is the end of round 2. Okay. Now what is round 2? In round 2 we basically want to ensure that, so throughout round 2 till 5 we will gradually ensure that even if dealer is corrupt or any t party out of the n parties are corrupt, we can actually handle all the required three properties of verifiable sequential. So in round 2 what happens? Here each pair of parties, there are two parties Pi and Pj, they will exchange between them some information. What are those information? So Pi has received Fix and Giy from the dealer and Pj has received Fjx and Gjy from the dealer. Now they want to verify whether they got consistent univariate polynomials, whether the univariate polynomials received from the dealer correspond to a unique bivariate polynomial. So if the dealer is honest, that will be true, but even if dealer is corrupt, how many parties are consistent with each other's univariate polynomial, that we will gradually check. So in round 2, Pi sends to Pj the value denoted with alpha ij. This is f of Fix is with Pi, so it will evaluate Fix at point alpha j, and it will also evaluate Giy at point alpha j, and Pj will also send Aj, which is evaluation of polynomial Fjx at point alpha I, BJI, which is evaluation of polynomial GJY. Now, by the property or pairwise consistency lemma, it is ensured that Fi of alpha j is equal to Gj of alpha I. It should be the ideal case. So once in round 2, each pair of Pi and Pj have exchanged these informations between them. Then in round 3, it is checked whether their received information is consistent with what they have. That is, Pi checks if Aij is equal to Bji. It checks if Aij is equal to Bji and Aji is equal to Bij. If satisfied, both the conditions are true, then it broadcasts it is a signal that OK I comma j. That means Pi is OK with the party Pj. Otherwise, broadcast not OK. I, j, and also its own value computed from its end. So it has computed Aij and Bij, right? So these values are also broadcasted to everyone. This is what happens in round 3. Now in round 4, everyone can see that which party have raised some NOK signal, not OK signal, meaning that what is expected by me from the polynomial evaluation, that value is not in consistency with the dealer or the party Pj, right? So in round 4, to get the scenario managed, what happens if any Pj, so for each Pj or for each Pi, okay, that raises NOK of I comma j, Aij and Bij, dealer on one hand broadcasts the value f of, so Aij means Fi evaluated at alpha j. So Fi evaluated at alpha j is this. So this corresponds to this. So now the public checking is done whether they are equal or who is actually cheating here. So this, and also Bij means Gi evaluated at alpha j, right? So Gi evaluated at alpha j is nothing but alpha I comma alpha j. So these two values are actually broadcasted by the dealer. And simultaneously Pj also, since Pi has told that okay, I don't have consistent values with respect to Pj, now both dealer and Pj actually broadcast their disputed values. Pj broadcast f j of alpha I. So this corresponds to its own version of f of alpha I. also broadcast Gj of alpha I, which is equal alpha j. Okay. So all these are made public. And from here it is clear either the dealer cheated or any one of Pi or Pj cheated. So we need to identify the unhappy set. So party Pi will be part of unhappy set if it matches the value with the dealer's output. Okay. So Pi will go into unhappy set if its corresponding input Aij is consistent with the present value that is broadcasted by the dealer, that is the value of f of alpha j alpha I. So it will be unhappy if this is not equal or Bij, that is f of alpha I comma alpha j, this is not equal. Okay. If any one of them is not equal, now finally Pi goes into unhappy state or unhappy set. Similarly, Pj also may go to unhappy set if the value that it now broadcasted, right? So it has its own value fj of alpha I. If this is not equal to the dealer value, both Pi and Pj are comparing with the dealer's value, right? Now f of j at point alpha I, that means alpha I comma alpha j, if dealer's corresponding value is equal to Gj alpha I, this is not equal, or Gj of alpha I, this is, if this is not equal to alpha j comma alpha I, then Pj goes into the unhappy set. Now verify that if size of the unhappy set is more than t, then you discard the dealer, because the dealer must be corrupted in that case, because more than t parties are not agreeing with whatever dealer is telling. They are disagreeing with the dealer. That highly means that the dealer is corrupted, so you discard the dealer and you just run a default semi-secret sharing of the value 0 and send the outputs. Otherwise, you proceed to round 5. What happens in round 5? So round 5, for every Pi in the unhappy set, dealer again broadcasts the polynomial. So in round 1 also dealer sent to all the Pi's some polynomials. But here in round 5 again, if Pi is found at unhappy set, dealer again broadcasts the polynomial f of x alpha I. So this is the row polynomial, and f of alpha I comma y, this is the column polynomial. So these values are now broadcast. Previously, these values are sent to PI privately, but now these values are broadcast once PI is found at NPC. Also, PJ broadcasts GJ of alpha I and FJ of alpha. Now, once this broadcast is done, you check whether for all PI in the unhappy state, okay, so here you basically check that if the values broadcasted by the dealer at this point, if they are consistent with at least T plus 1 happy parties, okay, so there should be at least T plus 1 PJ that are not unhappy, that are happy, such that the newly broadcasted values is equal to this is computed from the dealer's value of f xi xj alpha I broadcasted in round 5 and f alpha I alpha j f j of I. This value is also computed from dealer's value, dealer's polynomial broadcasted in round 5, and if the values are consistent with happy party PJs and there are at least these two T plus solutions, at least 2 T plus T plus 1, at least these many parties are there, then you actually consider the share of SI as GI equal to the 0, right? So this is done only if PI is found to be happy set. Okay. So this GI was obtained by PI in the round 1 from the dealer, and if PI was in unhappy set, then you consider the value, the polynomial received from the dealer in round 5. Okay. So in that case your SI will be f of alpha I comma j. This comes from oh, sorry, here. this is how you share the secret in verifiable secret sharing scheme. And once the SIs are obtained, since all the verification is done already, pairwise consistency validation and the validation of whether dealer is corrupt or not, even if corrupt dealer are handled by the consistency. Then in the reconstruction phase, basically all the n parties will share its own share, right? And then we need to apply a Reed Solomon error correction code to obtain the new polynomial f dash, which should be evaluated at point 0 to get the secret s, and by the correctness of ESS in case of honest failure, you get the same secret retrieved. Otherwise, if the dealer is corrupt, we retrieve some other S star, which is not similar to the same as the original secret, but it is consistent with the dealer's performance. Okay. So that is all for this week.